Today I'm just going to quickly go over how I made this zero clearance insert for my table saw. Now I have a Delta 36-725 table saw, and this is similar to the Porter Cable model. There are a few differences, but I believe the throat plates are fairly similar, so I'm just going to go over how I made this. Alright, now with the one that I made, as you can see, there's no slop in it. It doesn't move back and forth, so that makes me really happy. What I did is I put a coat of varnish on the top here, as well as some paste wax to make stuff slide across it really easily. Now, what I did here is I just drilled a hole. I don't remember the exact size, and I rounded that over with an 1/8 inch round over bit. On the back here, you can see I've got these sections hogged out with a Forstner bit in order to fit around these here. Now, there's not a lot of wood here because the insert that came with this is just thin metal, and so it was pretty difficult to make this, but I did get it done, and I had to just be very careful as I was hogging this section out. As you can see, I've got this. Here's the bottom. It's not very pretty, but it is functional. I hogged out some other areas for some other stuff in here, and then I hogged out this area so I could fit a router bit in and cut a groove so that I didn't have to switch the blade out, because this sits just about level with the top of the table when it's fully lowered. So I had to cut this out, and then I could raise it afterwards to cut the slot through here. Here I just screwed this piece of scrap wood onto the bottom with this little overhang, and what this does is prevents the insert from rocking up in the back, and you can see it works really well. And that's just a safety concern. This could rock up and kick back, so that's what that prevents. And finally, I just carved out this section here just using a straight bit in the router, and it left this little overhang here which seats nicely into this overhang, and it fits well. In order to get this to fit nicely in here, I just used a very accurate ruler. This one reads down to 32nds of an inch, however you can go to 64ths by reading in between the lines. Now what I did is I first measured the width, and that was 3 49/64ths, and I ripped that, I ripped a piece of stock down to that width on the table saw. Then I figured out the length, which I needed to use a little bit longer ruler, but that turned out to be 15 5/8. Alright, so after finding the length and the width, I just needed to work out some math. Now I knew that the diameter was basically the width, because this circle wraps around here, and I needed to know the diameter so I could find the radius. So basically I took the width and divided it by 2, and then I got my radius, and there is the number, and you can use this in a compass in order to get the correct curvature for the semicircles on the end here. Now after doing that, you need to find the centers of the circles so that you can get the correct length. And to do that, what I did was took the length, which is 15 5/8, and I subtracted it from the width. And the width is also the diameter, which would be a full circle, and so anyway, it worked out to be this number, and this is the spacing of the centers of your circles. And that way, you can put the compass there and then trace out the curve. And so after I was done with all the calculations, I traced those semicircles out onto the piece of stock that I had cut out to the correct width, and then basically what I did is just cut that out on the bandsaw and did everything else that I talked about, like drill a hole, round it over, cut the groove in the bottom, and it all added up to be this nice zero clearance insert, and I have no space in between the blade and the insert, which I'm raising the blade now, and as you can see there's no space, and I needed a zero clearance insert so I could cut some thin mahogany for the phone amplifier, and I really needed to cut that, and it wouldn't fit with the other insert, so I just made one of these, and this has worked out great. So hopefully that helped you figure out how to make a zero clearance insert for your table saw, and please subscribe to my channel, Croy Woodworks. Thanks.